Hello everyone, this is Jamie Macon from the Reading and Northern Railroad, and I want to welcome you to our newest passenger railroad station. This is the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Regional Railroad Station in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and we're just a few days away from the inaugural run of the Pittston to Jim Thorpe train excursions. The first ride will be on May 27th, 2023, and this one's going to be a big event. It will be led by the Diesel F units number 270 and 275, and we'll have almost as many coaches as we did on last year's Iron Horse Rambles. This first excursion train is sold out, but there's plenty of opportunities to rail fan it, and you can ride it any other weekend or holiday except for Thanksgiving from now till Christmas Eve. And I'm here today at this new station to give you a tour of what you can expect when you join us for a ride. This is Reading and Northern's Coxton Rail Yard, but a lot of improvements have been made to welcome passengers, starting with the main entrance here off of North Main Street. If you're coming to ride, the address you can plug into your GPS is 718 North Main Street. And this had been just your typical, rail yard, dirt, gravel. And you can see it has now been finished. It's got pavement near the roadway. And we've got this beautiful crushed red shale. Got some really nice decorative vintage looking street lights that line this. And these trees have just been planted. And they may not be big now, but they got plenty of time to grow up and mature and shade in the entrance as the years go on. And these cars here, the Glenanoco Falls and Hickory Run, they've been parked here for a while now to advertise the new train ride. A lot of traffic goes by every day on Main Street, and we'll be able to see what's coming up at this station. And I know there is a big buzz in the community. In fact, these rides are already so popular, they are sold out through May and June. But don't worry guys, there's plenty of chances to rail fan this. And plan ahead. You can buy your tickets online for July through the rest of the year. And I would recommend buying the tickets ahead. I believe this is going to continue to be popular. And the historical marker, which had been out by North Main Street, has now been relocated. This marks the unfortunate location of a mine shaft disaster called the Twin Shaft Disaster. On June 28, 1896, 58 men were killed in a massive cave-in of rock and coal here in the Newton Coal Company's Twin Shaft Colliery. An investigative commission appointed by the governor reported on September 25th. Although its safety recommendations would often be ignored, the disaster was a factor that led to a stronger unionization of this region under John Mitchell after 1900. We'll continue our walk down the entrance here towards the station. And if you look off to my right, this is the parking area. All right, and as if on cue, we got a good look at what I think is probably the coolest part of this new station here. That's these old-fashioned wigwag signals. So these wigwags were originally on the Chicago Northwestern line in Wisconsin, but then they were replaced with conventional crossing protection in the 2000s. As you can see, our signal department did a great job restoring them to operating condition for use here. And these stop when swinging signs were found in a former Erie Railroad warehouse about 25 years ago. These are new old stock, and as you can see, they're in pristine condition. Well, these wigwags are fun, and I could certainly stand here and watch them all day. But we got to check out the station, guys. This is what we came here for. And a lot has changed since I was here in early March. I remember standing on Main Street And looking at this tiny building, wondering if that was it. Well, that is not it. That is just a storage building. And the station itself has this beautiful new platform. And over on the left is a ticket booth, very much like the one that's in Reading Outer Station. And let's take a walk up to this platform and see what's going on here. Now there's still some work to be done, and I'm not 100% sure if it will all be done in time for the inaugural run. But it looks like there's going to be some landscaping, probably some flower beds right here to welcome passengers as they arrive. And you got a nice wide set of steps up to this beautiful cover here. This will be good to provide shade and, should it rain, protection from the elements. And this is a very nice classically styled overhang with these curved wooden supports. And right now we're looking in the direction that the train will depart. It actually heads north just a little bit before it makes a big arc through the town of Pittston to head south towards Jim Thorpe. And the train will come up to this platform for boarding. And if you would continue down those tracks right there, you would get to Tunkhannock. And one of the really neat features of building a station here, not only was there plenty of room to build the platform and the parking, but if you look around me here, this station forms a Y. So after a run, there's no need to take the train somewhere else to turn it. You can turn the train right here. Likewise, there's the Y at Glenanoco, just north of Jim Thorpe, for turning the train on the other end. This will be used as the ticket booth here. It's just like the one at Reading Outer Station, and you can pick up your tickets before boarding. Everything beyond here is part of the freight yard. You can see the yard office right there. And just walking down to the end of the platform here, you'll see the route that the departing train will take. Likewise, it's the same track that the train will return on at the end of the day. And it looks like they've got some old-fashioned barrels, I presume to use as either trash cans or planters. I'm going to guess trash cans. And there's some benches behind as well. Just panning across the site now, you can get a sense of how big this is going to be. There's going to be plenty of parking here, even on the inaugural run. The footage you're seeing now was filmed earlier in the day in the Jim Thorpe rail yard as the railroad put together the excursion train for the May 27th inaugural run. This run will be led by the Diesel F units number 270 and 275, and these will be turned on the Pittston Y to be pointing in the forward direction before leading the excursion train to Jim Thorpe Saturday. And on May 23rd, the railroad also added diesel number 5018 and SD50 to the consist to help with additional power over some of the steep grades on the new route. And next up are the three Crown Class cars, number 451 Rattling Run, number 452 Deer Lake, and number 453 Pulpit Rock. And these are the premium cars offered on this trip, and they have nice comfortable seats with new fabric. And then we have two standard coaches before we get to one of the other stars of the show here, and that's our North by Northwest dining car. This is an 85-foot Bud Diner that was featured in the Alfred Hitchcock movie of the same name, and this will be available for all passengers to enjoy during the excursion. And as we get to the other end of the train, you see 7 more of our standard coaches. And finally, there is a generator car to provide power for this trip. And in addition to this already long train, There will be several private cars tacked on for railroad management and VIPs. Now this is a pretty exciting train. This is on par with the length of the 2102 Iron Horse Rambles. But this isn't going to be the normal weekend consist. For normal weekend runs, it's going to be a much smaller train. But here's some exciting news about that. All of the cars in the consist are going to be these newly refurbished Crown Class cars. And I'm sure which cars are in use will rotate from time to time. But for the early runs, I'm told it's going to be this number 452 Deer Lake and number 453 Pulpit Rock. These cars are fresh out of the paint shop. They were delivered to Jim Thorpe just a couple of days ago. These Crown Class coaches will be on every excursion from Pittston to Jim Thorpe. And this year, the North by Northwest dining car, number 1166. It's a refurbished 85-foot Bud dining car. It was originally New York Central number 448, and it was famously used in the Alfred Hitchcock movie of the same name, North by Northwest. This was the dining car they filmed the scene towards the end of the movie in, and you can now ride in it on the Reading and Northern Railroad. Now, like any excursion, the consists are subject to change, but this is what we're starting out with in May and June of 2023. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Reading and Northern's newest passenger station, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Regional Railroad Station in Pittston, Pennsylvania. So, we're just a couple days away from the inaugural run. Get your tickets out if you're riding. Buy your tickets for later in the year if you're not. And if you're rail fanning it, get your cameras ready, rail fan responsibly. And I can't wait to see you here in Pittston and along the tracks as we travel down to Jim Thorpe. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you on board our trains.